Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. This time I'm going to be reviewing Evil Dead Rise. We went and saw this on Sunday, so just a couple days ago. As of right now, I think this video will be out probably Wednesday. So a few days ago, we went and saw it. Um, and for the most part, I am an Evil Dead fan. I haven't seen Army of Darkness since I don't even know what age I was. I was really young. It was funny. It was different. I didn't really understand like how it connected with Evil Dead. But obviously it connects in some way. Um, I still am somebody who enjoys the original Evil Deads, one and two. Obviously, two is kind of like a remake in a way, like in a I don't know. I don't really know how to explain it. It was kind of like just like a soft reboot, I suppose. I obviously like that one the most. It was more fleshed out, in my opinion. Um, I loved. I actually came into the series more so when I started understanding the series. I came in around the 2013 reboot, the one that starred. I forget who the actress that's in it, but pretty much it's a reboot. It's a complete reboot where they're in the cabin again. This time that one was about the sister, I believe, was a drug addict, and they were trying to detox her. Her and her friends were in the cabin. They find the Necronomicon, and it all just gets fucked up. But that one was pretty much like a reboot to the original movies. So this was a sequel to that reboot, pretty much. I wouldn't even say it's really a sequel because like they hint at things that make it like a part of like a bigger universe, which is cool. But there's not much like they don't mention the last movie at all. You know, this is like a just like a Final Fantasy situation where it's just a different world, different story, you know, type shit. Though they somewhat try to connect it a little bit in this movie. They hint at it a little bit. I actually didn't catch it the first time I saw it. My buddy Christopher actually brought up the fact that they hinted at a larger universe at play, and I don't know if that's really a spoiler because it's kind of easy to miss, but it was kind of cool context to the whole like Necronomicon and just the Evil Dead franchise as a whole, like just to connect them all and everything. That was really cool. But yeah, this is pretty much a sequel to the 2013 reboot, which I really liked the reboot. That was the one I first ever, when I went and saw it in theaters, that was the first like Evil Dead that I actually like paid attention to, and that made me go back and watch the old ones again and understand, oh, that's how these connect a little bit, I guess, and all that stuff. So needless to say, I really liked Rise a lot. I thought it had a lot of good camera shots. I think it had a lot of good like just creepy comical horror sometimes. They did a really good job again. You know, Evil Dead wouldn't be Evil Dead if it didn't have like the demon making jokes the whole time and kind of just being weird. They did really well with that in this movie. It was very top notch when it came to just like creepy vibes. This might be a little bit of a reach, but the demon in this one actually kind of reminded me of Bill Skarsgård's Pennywise from It. It was very similar. Like the jokes were funny. They made you kind of creeped out as well, but you still wanted to laugh as an audience member, even though you know somebody's about to get ripped into pieces. Um, yeah, I think the writing was really good in this movie. It was fun. It was a little campy sometimes. You know, it knew what kind of movie it was. I think it did a good job with that. There were a couple scenes that I thought were a little bit unnecessary, like how they discovered the book, and just every Evil Dead movie is the same when it comes to the way people just read the book out loud and knowing that it's going to summon demons. It seems like that happens in this movie, of course, as well, and it's annoying as much as it is in every other Evil Dead movie when somebody summons the demon for no reason. I liked how they kind of modernized this one, though. This one takes place in like an apartment complex that's being pretty much abandoned. It's only got like a few tenants left in on each floor. So they had a really good excuse for why the demon was able to kind of run around the whole floor of the complex and do whatever the fuck it wanted. Speaking of like the way the demon would move around, they had a lot of like just really fun camera shots in the movie. Most importantly, I think the movie, a lot of it revolves around the characters locking the demon out of the apartment, and then a lot of the camera shots are through a peephole. If you've ever played like Silent Hill 4 The Room, you'll know kind of what I mean, where it's like there's camera shots of you like looking through from the perspective of the person looking through the peephole, and you can see the demon doing its shit outside the door trying to get in. If you've seen the previews, you know exactly what I mean. You know, she's trying to knock on the door and get into the house and everything like that. They did really good with those types of scenes. They were really fun. They were very like just creepy. When I see an Evil Dead movie, I want to be creeped out, yet I want to leave the theater satisfied with how much just violence there was, how much blood there is, and just how much goofy shit is going on. And I think this movie did a really good job with a lot of that stuff. It could have been a little bit goofier. It could have been like there was a lot of gore in this movie, for instance. And honestly, there was a lot of gore when it came to like I don't know. There's a, so this might be a minor spoiler, but there's a like a few people that live in on the same floor of the apartment complex, and I think the two boys that live around there are kids still. And I only bring that up because the demon literally rips one of the kids' arms off. And I think that's pretty crazy that, you know, if that is a child, that they showed him getting his arms ripped off, which if it is a child, that's fucked up, and that's awesome at the same time, in my opinion, that they were willing to go that far and do that in a movie. With that being said, as well, with like there being kids, the movie revolves around a single mother. I think her name is Lisa Sutherland. I might be wrong about her name. I should have looked it up, but she's very beautiful. She's a very good actress too. I think she did a really good job as the demon. Her makeup was really, really well done. The effects were really good and everything like that. But I brought her up because she's pretty much a single mother. Her sister shows up out of nowhere and kind of tries to bring back, you know, like this family vibe with her and everything. She has three kids. You know, there's a boy and two girls. You know, the movie has a lot of kids in it. There's a lot more like young children in it than there is any other Evil Dead movie. This isn't like your typical, you know, you're going to see a bunch of teenagers or a bunch of like kids at like a campground getting chopped up. It's more like she's traumatizing her kids in a way, like in the movie as the demon. And they don't really show a lot of gore when it comes to the main kids, I feel like. But oh, sorry guys. But they definitely had a lot of blood. Like there was a lot of bloody scenes. There was a lot of like just gut wrenching scenes sometimes where you're just like, oh, that's fucked up. I think they did a really good job with the movie though. I wouldn't say it's my favorite Evil Dead movie. I still think the reboot was my personal favorite, but everybody's different. My buddy Christopher, his favorite is still, I believe, the second Evil Dead. So everybody has a different preference on how they feel about a certain movie. I liked Rise a lot. I thought it did a lot of good things. I don't want to go into it too much because it'll spoil things. I do think it's very much worth seeing. It's very cool. It is a WB movie, so it's one of those movies that's going to be probably on HBO within, I'm going to predict like June. I'm going to say like June it's going to come out, because originally, if you don't know, the movie has been in development for a long time, and when it finally was like ready to be released, they were just going to send it straight to streaming. And I believe that was back in like 2021 or something like that. I might be wrong about that part, but they were going to release it directly to stream. And then it did so well in the early screenings that it had to go to theaters, and it's doing a really good job in theaters right now. You know, it's getting really good scores from what I've seen today, just before I did this review and everything. But if I'm basing this off of, you know, my own preference and my own review, I'm gonna go with like an 8.5. Maybe like an 8.6, 8.7 if you guys want to get like deep into it. It was really good. It was really cool. I enjoyed a lot of the blood and the violence that was in the movie. It was comical at a lot of times. It had a lot of cool references to the originals as well as like the reboot as well. You know, like they all kind of copy off of each other a little bit, but they did a good job at making me, as a fan of the more recent Evil Dead movies, they made me feel very welcome and very like I just had fun. I had a lot of fun with the movie. It wasn't like scary, you know, like it wasn't like, oh my God, but it was loud. It was a loud movie with a lot of screams and a lot of yelling and a lot of just like loud bass at times. But I enjoyed it. I really did. If you're a big fan of like Evil Dead, I think it's a must watch pretty much. It reveals a lot more in the universe, or a good amount more in the universe. There's some crazy ass kills. I actually can't wait for like a kill count to come out of this. If you guys watch Dead Meat, that's a really fun series to watch, like different deaths in like movies and like horror movies and stuff like that. And this one's gonna be a fun one to watch for that. I definitely think it's worth seeing. Like I said, I'd give it like an 8.6 if I had to give it anything. But let me know if you guys are into Evil Dead. Let me know if you guys are like going to see this movie, and if you did, what'd you think of it? I appreciate it. Bye.